So after I uploaded my Daxter alcohol reaction where I spoke very openly about my own difficulties with alcohol, several people reached out and said, check out the Oliver Anthony track called Sober. I've not checked in on Oliver Anthony for a while, so let's give this one a listen. If you are new here, then I'm a trauma specialist from the UK. This isn't an in-depth analysis. These are just my initial thoughts of what's going through my mind at the time of me viewing the video. The idea being that you get some insight into what immediately goes through my mind. So let's see what Oliver Anthony has to say.
Well, the life we've been given and the way we've been living, just a song that we write till we die. Now some people write songs on living just right, but I write mine on just getting by. And I'll go on to whim, start writing a hymn that sounds so sweet. But the troubles and the sin of the world that we're in knock me back off my feet. I gotta get sober. I gotta start living right. And I don't know how it's gonna go, but it ain't gonna happen tonight. So pour 'em down strong till I drown. And if I wake up tomorrow, when that sun comes back around, I'll be wishing I was sober.
And if I wake up tomorrow, the way he says that sounds like he doesn't care if he wakes up tomorrow or not. Like he's not going to purposely do something to not wake up. But if he doesn't wake up, then so be it. And let's just use this moment to appreciate how heartfelt this is. Like he is singing directly from his soul, his voice, the style, where it's set. Everything is just so raw and genuine about it. It feels true and real, not manufactured for sales. And this is what music and songwriting to me should be about. And I love this way that Oliver uses this metaphor of songwriting and life. The life we've been given and the way we have been living, that's the song we write until we die. Our life is our song, and it is one that has many verses and many choruses and has many low points and many high points. And songs can be filled with sadness and sorrow, but also happiness and joy. But in this case, Oliver is saying his song of life is just getting by, because you write your song based on your own life and experiences that you have had. And it almost sounds like he wants to write a happy song, a song that sounds so sweet, but as soon as he does, he is suddenly reminded of the troubles and the sin of the world. That's what comes to his mind, and it reminds him how difficult things really are. So he has no choice but to write songs like this. This is beautiful though. Outside of the content and the pain and the struggles, just everything about it is beautiful and very vulnerable and just very human.
Comes back around, I'll be wishing I was sober. Well, the liquor and the boy been saving my soul from the pain that the world's put on me. And Lord, I know that upstairs there's an old man who cares, and one day he'll set me free. I'll go on a whim, start writing a hymn that sounds so sweet. But the troubles and the sin of the world that we're in knock me back off my feet. I gotta get sober, I gotta start living right. And I don't know how it's gonna go, but it ain't gonna happen tonight. So pour 'em down strong till I drown. And if I wake up tomorrow when that sun comes back around, I'll be wishing I was sober. Well, the life we've been given and the way we've been living's just a song that we write till we die.
So I didn't stop that many times. It didn't feel appropriate. I wanted to hear him. I wanted to hear his experience and what he was trying to tell us, and the kind of the story around that. The liquor has been saving his soul. Like a lot of people, he turns to drink as a way to cope. Drinking can help you feel better in the short term. I don't think anyone really denies that. But in the long term, it usually makes things worse. Physically, it can make you feel terrible. Mentally, it has a depressive effect. And that isn't a great combination of trying to move forward. I say this often in these videos, but there's this psychological process, so that there's no psychological process that can make you forget, that can erase memories of experience or take away pain in that way. I mean, we do have this saying that there are two ways. There's a frontal lobotomy or a bottle in front of me. It's a bit wordy. A frontal lobotomy, a bottle in front of me. And I get it. Watch my DAX video if you want to know a bit more about what I went through, and you'll understand a bit more about where I'm coming from with this. But I've been trapped in that cycle myself of using alcohol. I can understand it from a feeling perspective. I can understand it from a not knowing what else to do perspective. I can understand it from a scientific, psychological, behavioural perspective of patterns of behaviour being wired and strengthened through neural pathways. What fires together, wires together. Talking about neural pathways in the brain. The more you do something, the more those neurons wire together, and that becomes the thing that you do. And it's a hard cycle to break. It really is. Often with many setbacks and movement in the wrong direction. Then again, some movement forward, small steps after that. It's not just a straight line to things improving. But it is possible to change. I've seen it. It is possible to deal with unwanted, painful thoughts and feelings in other ways. And I haven't kept up with Oliver's journey, but I wonder if now he's funneling some of this pain, and I think it's anguish. I think anguish is the right word. If he's funneling that into spreading his message, whether that's had an impact on his drinking and how he is now doing. And I'm very aware that when I say things like, there are other ways to deal with unwanted thoughts and feelings, that it might sound like I am putting the responsibility on the person. And that isn't the case. I'm not saying that, because there's a lot of social injustice in the world. There's lots of things that aren't fair. There are lots of things that are happening, which we have very, very little control of, that a lot of changes would have to be made for things to be alleviated on that level. And I don't think that's coming anytime soon. So there has to be an element where we can focus on what control we do have. And I appreciate that can be very, very, very little. But we have to try and do something. We have to try and connect with something. We have to try to connect with others. We have to try and find something in life that we can find meaning in and value. And that can be done. I think I've waffled on enough there. I had to save everything to the end because I stopped it so few times. So thank you for sharing that one with me, especially after my DAX track. I have a lot of time for these tracks around kind of drinking and becoming sober. That's it for me. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.